everyone, I'm Trey Rich and you're watching The Buzz. On today's show we have Tilda Cobham-Hervey, Danielle Macdonald, and director Unjoo Moon from the Helen Ready movie, I Am Woman. And then we have BTS, who is celebrating their Billboard Hot 100 chart-topping song, Dynamite. In our artist spotlight, we have Olivia King, and then we talk to the last of the AGT quarterfinalists that are moving on to the semifinals. Are you entertained? Roll that intro.
Hi, I'm Terry Crews, and you've just been buzzed.
I Am Woman is the inspiring story of singer Helen Ready, who wrote and sang the song I Am Woman that became the anthem for the women's movement in the 1970s. The film is a story of fearless ambition and passion of a woman who smashed through the glass ceiling and hurdles over time to become an international singing superstar. We have Tilda Cobham-Hervey, Danielle Macdonald, and director Unjoo Moon to tell us all about the movie. Let's check it out.
You sing very nicely, but male groups all the rage right now. You've heard of the Beatles, right?
Did it ever occur to you, men, to ask women what they want to listen to?
Helen, she's tapped into something here. Remember that march in New York and how many women showed up to that? Bunch of record sales marching down the street.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore.
It's kind of angry.
It's man-hating.
Jeff, you okay with this?
What are you doing? You want to lose your recording contract?
This is more than just a song to me.
I mean, I think if you see what was happening in the film, you realize that we've come a long way since then, but we've still got a really long way to go. Mm-hmm. And I think it's really important to be educated on our past and to see the people that have paved the way for the progress that we have today, but also be aware that we've come from here and we're now here and there's still so much to go.
It was such a joy to sort of learn about her life and step into her shoes for a little while. You know, it is challenging to take on a character that everyone knows and loves so much. But I was really lucky to have an incredible team and director Unjoo, and like we had an incredible costume and makeup and hair and makeup team. And so we sort of were able to sort of find sort of the things that people would be able to recognize as Helen, certain parts of her physicality or the way that she spoke. And you sort of do as much research as possible and try and take as much as it in. And then, of course, you get to set and you have to sort of throw it all away and just be in the moment. But it was a very incredible experience. I feel very grateful to have just learnt about her life.
On top of the period aspect of the film, we actually shot Los Angeles. We recreated Los Angeles, New York, and Washington, actually all in Sydney, Australia. Wow. So apart from 2.5 days that we shot in Los Angeles, because we wanted to capture the Capitol Records building, that was very hard to recreate over here. We pretty much, scouted the streets and the suburbs of Sydney to find locations that really embodied those cities and those periods of time. We had a wonderful, I had an incredible team of people around me. First of all, the cinematographer, Dion Beebe, who was able to add so much to the locations with the way he shot the movie. And our production designer, Michael Turner, has a background in architecture and has lived in America as well. So between the three of us, we could really scout exactly what we were looking for. But that was challenging, and especially because you have lots of different periods of time. And once you start shooting, those different time periods mean that every time we switch over from one era to the other, Tilda has to completely change her her hair, her costumes. It was it was big, but it was really fun.
Lillian?
Hello, darling.
Oh, welcome. Where are you staying? Hotel Albert.
Oh, you poor thing. It's a terrible dump, isn't it?
The worst. But the price is right.
Well, I hear the Easy Beats are headed to town soon, so you might be in good company.
Obviously knew the song I Am Woman, but I'm very ashamed I didn't know a lot about her life. And she was a very private woman, but she had such an extraordinary career. I mean, she was the first Australian to win a Grammy. Like, she was so massive. So, it was a lovely joy to just be able to delve in and actually learn about her. And I'm really excited to be able to share her story with the world, because I find it crazy that a movie hasn't been made about her already.
I think the movie touches upon a lot of themes. I think obviously it is centered on Helen's life, but Helen had a lot happen in her life, and it brings up all of that. It brings up the Equal Rights Amendment and feminist push, and it brings up how she kind of changed the way that women were thinking at the time. It shows how you can be standing on a stage and inspiring millions of women, and then things aren't perfect at home, and it's not always that easy. There's always like two sides to every story, and I think it just shows how complicated and complex life is.
There's a scene in the film where she sort of goes in and pitches the song I Am Woman, and sort of there's a group of men sitting there and they're thinking it's man-hating and no one's ever going to listen to it, and it was quite amazing to live through those moments in history. But I also know that, and maybe Unjoo can speak on this, that they had some real struggles as well getting this movie made and had some very similar experiences. So I hope that we have moved from there, but I think we still have a little bit further to go, and maybe you can speak on that.
Yes, definitely. We, that scene in the Capitol Records building where the execs are telling Helen that, what kind of a song is this? Nobody's going to listen to it. I think that when we were first putting the movie together, we had a very similar response. Quite often, Rosemary Blythe, the producer, and I would be the only women at the table. And when we were pitching this story, we had a lot of baffled looks from men saying, who's Helen Ready? And why would anybody want to watch this movie? And considering we just opened in Australia, we're currently trending #1 in the country, I think there's a pretty good audience out there for this.
I Am Woman is in theaters and streaming on September 11th, so please check it out. Don't go anywhere, because up next we have BTS. We'll be back after the break. BTS has broken many records worldwide with their shows, music, and social media dominance. And now they're celebrating another remarkable feat as the first male K-pop group to top the Billboard Hot 100 charts. We got a chance to attend the virtual press conference to have the boys tell us all about it.
Fresh off their historic MTV performance, BTS held a global press conference in celebration of Dynamite hitting #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Let's take a look.
둘, 셋, 봐! 안녕하세요, 방탄소년단입니다. 마냥 이제 음악과 또 춤이 좋아서 시작을 했는데 우리 팀이 또 이런 진심이 또 세상에 통한 것 같아서 굉장히 또 벅찬 기분이 들고요. 팬분들의 응원이야말로 어떻게 보면 저희가 열심히 할 수 있는 활동할 수 있는 그런 원동력이었는데 또 이제 그 힘이 또 자연스럽게 뭔가 스며들어서 뭔가 지금의 방탄소년단과 지금의 J-Hope이 된 것 같다라는 좀 생각이 드는 것 같고요.
They answered questions from fans and were shocked and surprised with the announcement of going #1 and the success of their music video for Dynamite.
차트를 확인했을 때 진짜 좀 내가 보고 있는 이 페이지가 너무 의심이 가더라고요. 옆에 있는 멤버들한테도 너무 고맙고 제 인생에 뭔가 이런 뭐랄까 기록을 남길 수 있다는 게 너무나도 진짜 큰 영광인 것 같아요.
숙소 생활하면서 저희 막 되게 좁은 지하 연습실에서 되게 저희들끼리 옹기종기 모여서 춤과 노래를 되게 열심히 한 기억이 아직까지도 생생하게 남아있고, 이때까지 저희가 연습생활 지금까지 했던 모든 힘든 일들이나 그런 것들이 다 정말 좋은 추억으로 남았어요 이제는. 그래서 너무 행복하고 지금은 되게 제일 좋은 상장을 받은 기분입니다.
이제 그래미에서 이제 콜라보 무대를 함께 했는데 이번에는 이제 방탄소년단만의 이제 단독 무대를 그래미에서 해보고 싶다는 생각이 들더라고요. 그래서 그냥 그래미 무대에 서서 이제 방탄소년단 노래 하고 싶습니다.
흥얼거리기 쉽고 또 그리고 지금 같은 시기에 어떻게 보면 어떤 되게 어떤 거시적인 메시지 없이 좀 뭔가 단순히 즐길 수 있는, 사실 이런 게 가장 큰 도움이나 위로가 될 때가 있잖아요. 그래서 이런 것들이 이제 원곡처럼 모여서 조금 통하지 않았나라고 저는 감히 생각을 해보고요. 어쨌든 여러 가지로 저희는 참 운이 좋고 이거를 잘 알고 저희가 감사하고 겸손하게 계속 뭔가를 해나가는 것이 저희의 책임이고 의무라고 생각하고 있습니다. 네.
저희에게 아미라는 존재는 뭔가 좋은 일이 있으면 진짜 제일 먼저 알리고 싶고, 뭔가 사실 슬픈 일이 있으면 숨기고 싶고, 정말 좋은 모습만 보여드리고 싶은, 좋은 마음, 항상 그런 마음 공유하고 싶은 그런 분들이고, 진짜 아미 분들이 존재하기 때문에 저희가 존재하는 것 같습니다.
사실 코로나가 이제 종식되기 위해서 많은 분들이 진짜 노력을 해주시고 있고 도와주고 계신데, 이제 그분들에게 조금의 위로와 기분 전환이 될 수 있게 하는 게 저희가 해야 할 일이고 할 수 있는 일들인 것 같아요. 그래서 그렇게 할 수 있게 노력을 하는 게 저희의 앞으로의 목표, 또 하나의 목표가 될 수 있을 것 같고,
항상 열심히 하도록 하겠습니다. 저는 지금까지 방탄소년단이었습니다. 둘, 셋, 감사합니다.
This is an amazing success not only for BTS but also for K-pop, as BTS have broken many records on YouTube and other platforms. You can listen to Dynamite on all streaming platforms and watch the music video on YouTube. I'm Danielle Delate and you've just been buzzed.
We have a lot more show to go, so don't go anywhere. Our Artist Spotlight is up next. Olivia King is a young pop soul singer-songwriter that is currently gaining online success with her music. She just released her latest single, With a Little Bit of Love. Let's take a look.
So I am Olivia King. I am from the smallest state of Rhode Island, believe it or not. I have been singing kind of since I can remember, but really started taking it seriously and started writing music around 2017. So it's been only about 3 years of releasing original music, but I've been on YouTube since I was little and really just grinding it myself. I do mostly pop soul kind of stuff, and it seems to be working for me right now, and was able to quit my 9 to 5 about 2 years ago. So hoping to continue on that path.
Got me caught up in my feelings, but now I'm strong and I don't need no help. All these thoughts, yeah, they're evicted. They pay the rent this month, they're dead and gone. There's not a trace of feeling lonely. Me, myself, and I, we got it on.
So much is done over stuff like we're doing right now, especially in today's day and age. So I have my family here. My brother actually plays for the Yankees, so he's only an hour or two away to see that. And then I really just think a lot can be done over the computer and on the internet. And a lot of people think you have to be right in the hubs that are super expensive to live in. But I like to think that you can do a lot, you know, wherever you are in today's day and age. So I've been able to do a lot here. I travel usually a lot without the pandemic. So there's not much of a music scene, I would say, but I have a couple people that I met in college or have been friends for a while that are kind of my day ones that write my music with me. I have a producer in LA that I work with frequently, and we can kind of, you know, work like this over Zoom, and that's been working out for me. I just released a single called With a Little Bit of Love that's kind of about everything going on in the world right now, and that was done and written during quarantine. The writer that I usually meet with once a week to write with, we just did it over FaceTime and pumped it out that way. So it's actually kind of been a blessing for me with my music career because I was able to focus on it so much. Usually I would have been traveling a little bit more, but now I was like forced to be in my home all the time. And with having a studio here, it was kind of a no-brainer to take advantage of it. I actually had the song kind of started right at the beginning of the quarantine. And I was really struggling on the hook, and so I FaceTimed my writer friend and was like, hey, I need help on this hook. And right around that time was the whole Black Lives Matter movement, and I was like, you know what, I would love to make a song that could give back to that. And so my writer friend came up with the hook, we can change the world with a little bit of love, and I was like, that is perfect. So I've actually partnered with this organization called the Turning Leaf Project. And so a portion of the royalties from that song are going to them and their efforts towards the Black Lives Matter movement. And I just wanted to do something. I felt a little bit helpless at first because I'm like, how, if I can't be out at protests, or like, how can I actually give back and do something that's going to make a change besides just sharing on social media? Like, I feel like a lot of people, obviously sharing on social media, it helps, it spreads the awareness of it, but how could I really make a difference and make an impact? And so I found this organization on TikTok, and it was all of these guys pressing shirts and making shirts, and the way they were doing it was so interesting. And so they were these viral videos, and I was like, what is this all about? So I hopped on a call with them, and they explained their whole organization and how they give men in prison a second chance and hire them right out of prison. And their whole vibe was just so awesome, and I just see the potential for their program. So yeah, that whole song kind of stemmed and snowballed off of the concept of everything that's going on in the world. So it's now partnered with an awesome program. So hoping to give back as much as I can with that one. I'm the type of artist that believes in consistency, so I've been releasing singles for the past 3 years every month or two. So I have another one in the queue ready to go for October, and then I always like to hit people with some sort of a holiday release. So kind of the title song is of the EP is the one that's coming out in October, called Old Soul. So hopefully we will have the EP ready. Now I'm starting to get more and more songs, so who knows, that EP may turn into an album just with all the music I've created, but hoping for an EP or album release at the top of next year. Yeah, everything across the board is Olivia King Music. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, you name it. Olivia King. Hey, my name is Olivia King, and you've just been buzzed.
A Little Bit of Love is out now. Up next, Ray talks to the last quarterfinalists that are moving on to the semifinals of AGT. So stay tuned.
Always protect you. I promise to keep you, never to leave you, no matter what I do. You're part of my heaven and part of my amen.
It's definitely been different, but it's also like a really cool time to be on AGT, like, because it is different and people are I don't know, probably more interested in what's going to happen, like, more than they used to. And it's also cool to see everybody on the virtual audience. I think they did a good job with that. So it has been really interesting and really cool at the same time.
And Brandon, what about you?
For me, it's kind of been a flashback to the past, like starting, like, poetry gets second billing to like comedy and music at shows. So like I perform on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and usually it's like very low numbers in the beginning of my career. So this just kind of took me back to like those humbling moments of the start of my career doing poetry, where it was just like me and like 4 people at a coffee shop, and me throwing my soul out to these people waiting for like grande macchiato or whatever the heck they get.
We're blessed to be a part of the show in general, but I think this season is a staple. It's unique, and we're very blessed to be a part of production. I love production more than anything. So to be a part of not only an awesome show and just be a part of it, to be able to do it during a pandemic and with all this production, it's unique. The next season might not do this stuff anymore. So it's an opportunity that you have to seize the moment and enjoy it while you're here.
AGT really stepped up to the plate. I mean, they took a very difficult scenario and a very difficult season, and they completely turned it around and made it amazing. So it's actually almost a benefit and a blessing to be here this season, where everybody thinks it wouldn't be. It is. We're thankful for it. America's Got Talent did a great job.
It's weird seeing everybody with face shields and masks all the time, but it's actually becoming a new norm, right? So it's different, but the way that they're making this season great is by, I mean, I'm so proud of America's Got Talent, because if you watch people's sets, and I don't think that would have been able to happen if the coronavirus didn't happen. So it's definitely a different world, but I think for the show, it just made it amazing.
You obviously gave performances that were very emotional driven, and I would love to know from each of you, what was your thought process before and when you were deciding, your act, and then going into it? And so we'll start with Kennedy again. Come back to you, Brandon.
Well, I wrote the song recently after my audition, and we chose it at the last second. But it was written for my sister Alexis, and I wanted to dedicate it to her on the show because she's one of the reasons I'm here. So I wanted to give that back to her, and I think it turned out really good, and she called me and she was so excited and she loved it, so it made it all worth it.
And Brandon.
Yeah, the decision to do the poem that I wrote was understanding the times that we're living in now, the fights that have been going on for generations, and wanting to express the truth of this real authentic conversation my mother and I had. And I've said it before, history isn't made by those who play it safe. And so for myself, instead of going with a safer poem, for the American public, I said, take your shot at doing something that that you could be proud of when people look back on it. So.
Well, we have normally we would see vocal coaches and have the music team and everybody in person, helping you as you're performing in front of them. But now it's all through Zoom. We don't get a chance to actually be in person, face to face with these people. And it's definitely, it's different. It's really different. But
for all of you guys, what was the thought process behind choosing the pieces that you guys individually did last night? So what were you thinking when you said, all right, this is the performance I'm going to do? And we'll start with Broken Roots again.
We chose a U2 song, and we chose a U2 song. Still haven't found what we're looking for, because the world that we're living in right now is on a constant search, right? And we are too, and humanity is in a constant search. And for us, this song represents a lot of that. As a globally, I don't think the Earth has found what we're looking for yet in humanity. And that's why we chose the verses that we chose in the song to do. It was very powerful for us as a message. We want this world to come together, get rid of our masks and hold hands and hug and love each other and take care of each other. And that's what we're looking for. So that was a message that we wanted to push out through that song.
The response, and in particular to this one, has been great. You have your small contingency of people who, will dislike the quote unquote political nature of the piece. But for the most part, talking with my fellow poets, talking with my family, my fans, everybody has been ecstatic about it. And it did what I hoped it would do. It elicited a response from the people. And not only that, but I feel like it was a level up from the first performance I did too. So.
All right. And so for my final question, knowing what you know now, just kind of about this live round, going forward, is there anything different you guys plan to do, or do you just plan to come bigger and stronger? What's your game plan? Candy?
I think just stepping it up and showing more sides of me and my music, and I'm excited to show more originals if I get voted through, and to show America what I have to offer. So,
Brandon, what about you?
In the words of a famous man, add more cowbell. You can never have enough cowbell. But no, in a serious note, I think I would probably just continue. I probably wouldn't change a whole lot of anything. Just continue to speak my truth and speak my heart out there. So
awesome. Well, thank you guys so much, and I hope to talk to you guys again, obviously. So all the best.
Thank you, Ray.
Of course, I don't know where you guys are, but have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, wherever.
Michelle, thank you.
Have your coffee, do all those things. Bye, guys. Thank you.
That's all we have. Special thanks to Ray Williams, AGT, NBC, Tilda Cobham-Hervey, Danielle Macdonald, Unjoo Moon, BTS, and Olivia King. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and double tap us on Instagram, all at @buzz_access. Cities are slowly reopening, but we still need you to practice social distancing. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and be nice to each other. I'm Trey Rich, love and light to you all.
Got me caught up in my feelings, but now I'm strong and I don't need no help. All these thoughts, yeah, they're evicted. Ain't pay the rent this month, they're dead and gone. There's not a trace of feeling lonely. Me, myself, and I, we got it on.
For more stories and extended clips, go to thebuzzallaccess.com. I'm Trey Rich, and you've just been buzzed.